She plays for the Ottawa Charge in the PWHL and is from Saskatchewan. Super excited to have Emily Clark on the podcast. Emily, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on.
I'm super excited. Emily and I met at a charity golf tournament this summer for Canadian Tire, which was a lot of fun. You got a round in Moose Jaw. And
Oh yeah.
how was your off season?
It's been good. I guess it's been a hot sec since we saw each other. Yeah, off season's been good. It's been a big learning curve. Like it's been a long time since we've had true off season in this length before. So I'm not naturally wired to be able to chill out, so it force myself to chill out and take a break from hockey and spend some good time with family and friends and golfing and all that good stuff. So it's been good, but I'm ready to get back at it.
I bet. When do you guys kick off your kind of like preseason and training and all that? Is it underway already?
No, not yet. Pretty soon though, we have there's rivalry series against Team USA first week of November, and then training camps with our professional team start November 12th. So pretty much November 1st things get rolling for the season.
Oh, that's awesome. What was it like last year being a part of the first year of the PWHL? What was that like for you?
Yeah, I mean, total dream to get to play professionally for the first time at 28. So yeah, I mean, to be able to just have that professional league was just everything. I mean, I was a part of the PWHPA since its inception, which was my first year out of college. So yeah, in 2019, I got to win a national championship at Wisconsin, and like felt like I was just like at the peak of my hockey career. And then the existing league at the time folded, and you're just like graduated and you have no idea what hockey's going to look like for you. It was pretty crazy time and a tough couple of years at times, playing in the PA and just trying to hold out until we got a true professional league and we finally got it. So I think it was just such a long time coming, which made it extra sweet to be a part of.
Yeah, it's so cool. It was so cool to see the crowds that you guys had last year as well. Like, what was that feeling like coming in to the rink?
Yeah, that's like the best part. No, I was super lucky at University of Wisconsin. We had quite a strong fan base. Everyone in Wisconsin is a cheesehead, and they go all out for the Badgers of all the sports. So I don't know. I mean, I think it's comes from being from Saskatchewan, but you're a very proud person no matter what you're representing. And it's been so long since I've gotten to play for like a city. Like I'm fortunate to get to represent Canada, and there's so much pride with that. But there's just something different too about having a city that you have across your chest that you're representing, and to get the love from Ottawa right from puck drop from the first season opener game. It was sold out, and everyone was in their seats even for a warm up like an hour before the game. So to be able to have that warm welcome from Ottawa, I was super excited to go there in the first place. But then to be able to have that support from the community right away was really cool.
That's awesome. I noticed that. Well, obviously, for anyone who doesn't know, last year with the PWHL, you guys played with just your city names. There were no team names. This year,
Mm-hmm.
you've got the team names. Are they keeping the jerseys under wraps until the season starts? This is what's happening?
Yeah, I have no idea what the rollout plan is for the jerseys, to be honest. But I imagine that, I mean, I'm starting rumors. I have no idea. I should preface that, but I imagine that maybe some teasers or they'll get released before the season, the next couple weeks here. So, obviously, just having the team names and the logos is pretty exciting, and now the merch is coming out. So I have to imagine the jerseys are coming pretty soon. So I'm excited to see them.
As a jersey guy, I was looking to see if I could get an Emily Clark jersey, and there are no
Uh,
jerseys on the website right now.
No, not yet. Hopefully there's a Clarky link that we can make it nice and easy when those come live.
Oh, that would be awesome. I so want to make it out to one of your games this winter because I think that would be just like an absolute blast to be able to come out there and be part of that.
Yeah, absolutely. We got to get you to Ottawa.
It'd be fantastic. You also played for Team Canada, which you brought up. Two Olympics that you've been through, right? A silver
Yep.
medal and a gold medal. So let's start with the silver medal. What was it like your first Olympics?
Yeah, I mean, it was such a whirlwind. I was fortunate to be on a few world championship teams before that, but the Olympic year is a different beast, and a lot of people might not know, but it's basically like an 8-month tryout process leading into the Olympics. So there's 28 to 30 players that all move to Calgary full time, and you're playing as a team, but of course it's a tryout, and by Christmas time they select the roster. So I had a really great family Christmas in 2017. I found out I was going to go to the Olympics like a day before I went home for Christmas break, and then a month later we're off to South Korea for pre-comp. But yeah, I mean, obviously, ultimately the result wasn't what you go for, especially being a Canadian hockey player. I think it's the expectation is gold and winning, and to lose in a shootout was just so gut wrenching. There's so many positives. It was so cool just to make that dream come true of being at the Olympics and taking in the whole experience that the Olympics is. But definitely fueled me to be on the other side of the blue line the next time around. So obviously, it was pretty lucky and special to make that happen too.
Yeah, I always say that it's better to win a bronze medal than a silver because you win your last game. It feels better when you win the bronze.
Yeah, and that's like what's so it was so hard to, I don't know, wrap your head around because as a fan of the Olympics, like when Canada wins a silver medal, like that's a huge, huge, huge accomplishment and a big deal. Um, but it was just so hard to like at the start. I think it was like obviously you're sad and you're with your teammates and you're grieving and stuff like that. But then that night we went to Canada House. So at the Olympics, there's usually a hub for all Canadian fans and athletes and families. And I didn't get to see my family that was there at the rink. My parents and two of my brothers came, and like as soon as I saw my mom, I just like bawled because it was like no matter how old you are, something like that, you just want your mom, and gave her a big hug. And my oldest brother Jeff, he's my biggest fan, one of my biggest supporters, and he was like, "Put that damn medal on! Like you won an Olympic silver medal. Put your medal on and be proud of that." And I was reluctant at first because I was still, sad and feeling sorry for myself. But I put it on, and eventually all the girls like started putting theirs on too. And you just need a little bit of time. But I mean, I was really lucky to have my family there and for my brother to give me a nice kick in the butt to be like, it's an Olympic silver medal, you know?
Absolutely. So then you go
Yeah.
back 4 years later, and you take home the gold. What was that moment like?
Yeah. Honestly, that whole day was such a dream. I think that it was, I don't know. I think in like championship games I've been a part of, you just have a feeling. And that whole day I just had like this crazy feeling. And, in moments like that, it's so hard not to think of the outcome before it happens. So, I remember in 2018, I was so focused on us winning gold. Like I had, when the medals came out, it was the background on my phone. And I was just thinking like about the gold medal all the time. And, then when you lose and you don't end up with that result that you put all that time thinking, it's like, man, I wasted so much present time to think about an outcome that didn't even happen. So I had a totally different like approach even the whole Olympic year. But the actual day of the gold medal game, you think of both scenarios in your head, and I just had to keep being like, you're eating breakfast. Like I had talked to myself all day, just telling myself exactly what I was doing. Like, okay, you're warming up, you're putting your dress clothes on, you're putting your, like I had to talk myself through the whole day without getting too far ahead. And then yeah, it was just felt like a movie by the time the buzzer struck and you're celebrating with everyone. And obviously different experience at the Olympics because it was COVID, so my family wasn't there, but I got quite the warm welcoming back to Saskatoon, and that was by far the best part of winning the whole thing was getting to share with my family when I got home.
Oh, I love it. That's I think that's so cool that you got to do that and then come home and celebrate with your family. So you're from Saskatchewan. Let's talk about Saskatchewan and
I'd
growing up in
love to.
Saskatchewan. How was how did you get into hockey as a kid?
So I have four older brothers that all played, and a dad that coached like even before he had kids. Like when he was in high school and early 20s, he always coached, and was just super passionate about hockey. And a mom that said yes to anything that we wanted to do. So yeah, I just wanted to chase my brothers around and be just like them. And I've just been a hockey player as long as I can remember. I have no memories of not being a hockey player.
That's really cool. Did you grow up in Saskatoon?
Yeah, right in Saskatoon.
So what's the best part of like what do you love doing when you come back home?
Um, I mean, I just, yeah, I just feel so at home as soon as I land. As soon as I feel that cold prairie air hit my nose and I get tears in my eyes because it's so cold usually when I get uh, off the plane for Christmas or um, whatever the case is. But no, it just always feels like home. I mean, my family is there outside of my older sister and her family's in Calgary, but not too far away. But yeah, I mean, when I'm home, it's it's pretty quick trip. So for me, it's all about getting good time with my family and then getting a few of my favorite restaurants and shopping in. But I'm super lucky. Like my strength coach and skills coach that I had in Saskatoon are still my strength coach and my skills coach. Whenever I have the chance to work with them, obviously I'm not in Saskatoon anymore, but I always go see Jason Weber at the pack. And whenever I get on the ice with Scott Dutra, it just feels like I'm a little kid again because it's all I know. So, yeah, for me, of course, it's the location, but it's the people. So just try to connect with my family and, coaches that have been there along every step.
So what are the restaurants that you have to hit up when you come back home?
Manos is known to be my family's go-to restaurant. Um, and then recently I like to go to the bagel shop.
Okay.
Um, yeah, bagel shop, hometown diner, poached. Those are in the regular rotations too. And then I always have to go to hard pressed and momentum. Like even if I'm not getting anything, I just got to see, scout out what's in there, what's new.
Go go see what they've got. Uh,
Yeah,
I love the bunny hugs that Hard Pressed has.
absolutely.
For anyone who's watching and not from Saskatchewan, what Emily is wearing right now is a bunny hug and not a hoodie.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's funny too with the hard press. It's like anywhere in the world that I've been, it's like I see, I know all their graphics or I know their logoing is just like you give them like if you're both wearing it, it's like that nod. Like you could be, I don't even know. I'm trying to think of the craziest places I've seen it, but I know for sure in Montreal and Toronto, I've been out and I've seen people wearing it. And it's just kind of like, yep, my people.
I feel like there's like a next level Saskatchewan pride. It's like when you go anywhere and you see a Saskatchewan Roughrider jersey, right? Like they're
Yeah,
everywhere.
for sure. Totally.
I love it. I was at a New England Patriots game, and we were leaving, and like there's the hundreds, well, thousands of people walking down this ramp, and like 20 people in front of me, I spotted a Saskatchewan Roughrider jersey
That's
walking
hilarious.
out, and I'm like, I love it. I love that we're
That is
absolutely
awesome.
everywhere.
Yeah, I have a memory of when I was at Wisconsin too. There was a guy in one of my econ classes wearing like a Blue Bombers jersey that I chirped once, and I'm just like, in Madison, Wisconsin, and have to, protect my Rough Riders. What are you doing
Right?
wearing that garbage?
I love it. I
Yeah,
love it. The Riders looking good this year too.
yeah,
It's gonna be an interesting playoffs, I think, for them.
totally.
uh, so you also, when you do come back home, you have like hockey camps and stuff that you run now too, right?
Yeah, yeah. I just finished my the third year of it this year. So yeah, when I'm home now, it's usually Christmas and a summertime visit that involves a lot of family time, but then also my camp is usually around there. So that's been a lot of fun. It's something I've been wanting to do for a long time, and it never really made sense while I was in university because I was doing summer classes and in Madison for most of the summer. And then after I graduated, I wanted to do it, and then COVID hit. So as soon as COVID cleared up a bit, and after the 2022 Olympics, we had the first year, and it's been a blast.
So, what advice do you give to kids who want to chase that dream, like the dream that you're getting to live right now of getting to play professional hockey?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just that connection with the kids, taking my time with them. I don't think there's any secret sauce or
No.
blueprint that I can lay out for them. But I can think of all the times growing up that I got to meet a national team player, which I'm fortunate. It happened a handful of times, but I tell the story all the time that I have Dana and Tell's signature after they won 2002 Olympics. Then honestly, I might have spent 35 seconds to a minute with her, but I had that photo of that team that won and her signature in my room. Like, it's still in my room at home. So I think about, what a signature in a minute can do, and you think of getting to spend a whole weekend with these kids, and for me, it's like I don't even run the ice times because, like, I'm a great hockey player, but I know I'm not a great, I'm not an Olympic level coach. So my skills coach, Scott Dutra, that honestly I credit him with so much of my success because I've worked with him since I was a kid. My parents, actually had him for my older brothers, and I would go in the morning to watch, and then he was like, "What's your little brother not doing out here?" Because my hair, I had like flow. I wanted to blend in with my teammates at the time. So I've skated with him since I was like 8, and he just always made it so fun that I didn't even feel like I was working hard. So it's pretty cool now to be on the other side of it, and I watch how much fun the kids are having because he's doing the same things with them as he did with me at that age, or what he still does with me. So yeah, that's a big part of it, is just making sure they're having as much fun as possible on the ice, just sharing my stories and being visible and letting them know, like, what's out there, whether it's college hockey, pro, juniors. Like, the longer you can play, the better. And there's just so many skills from hockey that I know will take all those girls way past their playing career. So just try to teach them to be good teammates, have fun while working hard. Nothing too crazy.
No, I love it. I think that's what it should be all about. I think that's when kids really do excel, is when they're really having fun playing hockey. I know even my kid, he's 13 now, but during COVID, when everything, we got shut down and there were only 6 kids allowed on the ice and they had to wear a mask.
Yeah.
After that year, he was like, I don't want to play. I want to quit hockey. And
Yeah, it's tough.
the very last second, he made the decision to get back in and play. And now it's like all he talks about and all he wants to do. So and it was, I think the year he came back, he had a coach that did just that. He made hockey fun, and that's
Yeah,
what made him fall in love with the game.
totally. Yeah, it's so great. And it's funny as you get older too, like even, in Ottawa, like Carla, she always calls it like playground energy. Like, even though we're professionals now, we're getting paid to play. It's our job. Like, it doesn't mean that it can't be fun still. And no matter how old you are, I always get a kick of even like watching the NHL, and after no matter how old those guys are and they're scoring goals, it's nothing but big smiles and they're like little kids. So it's definitely something that you got to keep as long as you can.
That was always one of my favorite things about watching Alexander Ovechkin. Was I feel like
Totally.
like he bucked that whole, like, you have to be the old man hockey thing where you got to act like you scored before. It's like,
Yeah.
no, you can love every minute of it, and I feel like that makes it so much more fun to watch when you get to see that emotion come out.
Yeah, totally. No, I'm a huge fan of his just for that as well.
Did you did you have a favorite player growing up?
He was one of mine.
Yeah.
I have a couple of Ovechkin jerseys. Actually, when Chandler Stevenson played for Washington. His mom coordinated with him to get a jersey signed by Ovechkin for me and made out to me, and that was, I was like 22 at the time. But I still love it. I think that's like, a really cool piece of memorabilia that I have.
That's awesome. I think I was probably around that same age when I got. I went on a vacation to. This is a roundabout story, but I went on a vacation to Mexico, and while I was there, I took my like Carey Price Montreal Canadiens jersey with me, and took a picture just of the back of the jersey like this next to a palm tree, and I sent. He had a website at the time. I sent it to his website, and like 3 months later, I get this like envelope in the mail, and it's like hard. I'm like, I don't know what the heck this is. I'm like, am I getting like a subpoena or something? It was seemed so weird. And I opened it up, and there was this like 8x10 Carey Price picture, and it was like to Nick, all the best, and had the autograph. And I've still got that framed
That's
and
unreal.
hanging in my house.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
so cool.
those moments I think just go a long way, right?
Totally.
Oh, that's awesome. So you're heading into year number 2 with Ottawa. I got to know your teammates and everything. And do you have is there one person on the team who you think is like the most likely to play the practical jokes on people? Do you have somebody like that in the locker room?
um, yeah, I feel like, the funny thing is, like, with last year, everything was such a blank canvas that, it's not like other teams where you get on your college team or you get on the national team. There's people who have been there and certain traditions, and you find out where you fit in. Like, felt like the first day of school. Like, honestly, I knew like 5 of my teammates before I got there. So I think last year was interesting. There's like so much runway and time spent getting to know people, and like I think it took probably longer for people to get like comfortable and be like their true, personalities,
Yeah.
than it would like this year even it'll be. But no, I don't think we have like a lot of funny girls and big personalities. I don't know if we didn't really get into too many pranks last year though, so
Sounds like
open
there's an
tryout this
opportunity for
year.
you there, Emily.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we'll see.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Well, I did
awesome.
actually have Emma Buckles last year. I don't know where it came from. I actually don't even want to know, but it's like somebody's cup, but women's cups and men's players cups are different, and so it was a men's cup. I don't know where it came from, but Buckles actually would just put that in like your stall or tape it to the top of your helmet, so when you like go to get your helmet, the back is showing, and like people would put it on, and like they wouldn't see this giant like cup taped to their forehead. So I guess, yeah, she was probably who I would chalk up as the last year's jokester.
That's awesome.
Not appropriate, probably, but
Super funny though.
yeah.
So what does it feel like going into the second season now that you have gotten to know everybody and obviously you got a year together under your belts?
Yeah, it's just like same excitement as last year. I think maybe a little bit more a feeling of comfort of like having an idea of different things, because yeah, last year was just like everything was new for everyone, and it's like I don't know, you don't even realize things that like in past situations or organizations you've been in are just like there's a system for it, but you don't know that until you come across it, like which I don't know even know, just like silly examples of like at the end of a game on a road trip, like what are you doing with your gitch? Where are you putting this and that? Like just stuff like that that gets built out throughout the system or throughout the year, sorry. So I think yeah, just being a little bit more comfortable with how things are going to work this year, and yeah, knowing we have quite a few returning players, so that's exciting, kind of knowing what you're walking into on that front too, in the locker room and on the ice and the style of play. So yeah, I'm just excited to get going. Super hungry, obviously, after coming up short of playoffs last year. I think we have a really motivated group, and yeah, just like can't wait for our first game.
I love it. Was there a moment last year that kind of stands out to you as a highlight, like something that just is that one thing that you maybe took from last year?
Yeah, I think yeah, there's so much to learn from last year. I think that's kind of like the silver lining of not making playoffs is you have to take a pretty good look in the mirror as an individual and as a team. So I think, all of us did that. So I think that makes me pretty excited for this year, just knowing that everyone's coming in pretty hungry. But I think, a big lesson from last year, it's tough. Like, you don't want to make moments bigger than they are. Like if you say you lose a couple of games in a row, you want to look at every game as like a new opportunity and it's all good. But then at the end of the season, you miss playoffs by literally 1 point. So it just kind of teaches you the importance of every single game. So I think, you don't want to put too much pressure on any one game, but also that urgency of like every single point matters and no one will know that more than us.
So what's your favorite part about being in Ottawa?
Yeah, I like the community a lot. I think, last year with the pre-signing situation and having the opportunity to, be a part of that was really special. But like as soon as the cities came out, not knowing anything else, GMs, coaches, like everything was a blank canvas. I truly wanted to be in Ottawa. Like I was so hoping that that's where I would have ended up just because I really love the city from past times that I've been there. And being a Saskatchewan girl, I think just like knowing that it's a bigger, smaller city, pace of life is a little bit more my speed compared to some of the other bigger cities that were the options. And then like we talked about earlier, just that community support right from puck drop and feeling the love from the community. So a mix of just like, yeah, feeling of the city and our fan base is pretty special.
That's awesome. Do you guys have a like a rival? Is there another team that after that first season starts to feel like it's more of a rivalry game when you play them?
Yeah, I don't know if there's one clear cut. I mean, with only 6 teams, you play everyone so much that I feel like you have certain feelings towards each team, especially by the end of the season. You see them enough. But I would say like there's a pretty natural rivalry with the Battle of Ontario, us and Toronto. Um, we always had really, really high compete games against them. So I'd probably say them. And I mean, proximity as well, like Montreal, I think just being down the road, I think there's a natural rivalry there too.
Yeah, for sure. I'm glad you said Toronto because there's something that I enjoy about cheering against Toronto teams. So it makes me even
Yeah,
more
there you go.
firm in my decision that I'm going to be an Ottawa Charge fan.
Yeah, perfect. I don't think you're the only one in that boat.
Right? It's I feel like either people are all in on Toronto, which there's a lot of them, right? The Leafs and Jays and everything else, but then everyone
Yeah,
else is all against Toronto.
yeah, so true. Yeah, I can get behind that.
Did you have a favorite team growing up?
I was honestly, yeah, a bit of a bandwagon hopper because again, the Saskatchewan, I feel like you can kind of just choose. So,
Right.
I grew up liking the Flyers because my dad liked the Flyers, the Broad Street Bullies era, and my
Yeah.
minor hockey association was the Flyers. And then when I started really becoming a fan of Ovechkin, then I liked the Capitals. And now, obviously, I cheer for Ottawa, but I also have my Kraken hat on. So, big fan of Jessica Campbell and the Kraken now, and you always root for the other Saskatchewan players. So, I follow different players that I've crossed paths with, like the Shen brothers, Connor Ingram, but now Chandler being in Seattle and Jessica Campbell coaching there, it makes it pretty easy to wear this hat at
Yeah.
least.
How awesome is that Jessica got in there? Like, what does that mean to you? Like to you to see that? Like, what does that
Yeah.
bring up any emotions for you?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think that there's so many, well, I won't limit it to women, but people in hockey that you know, it's quite the ceiling that she just broke through. And then, being from Saskatchewan and knowing her, I played with her at the national team. But we actually go back to the first time I met her, I was 13 at a Team Sask tryout, and I remember I was roommates with her And like, I think she had played on U18 Team Canada already, and like it was like that's Jessica Campbell. And I was so shy being her roommate, and she was the nicest person ever. And then I remember we did some skating tests, and it was like two at a time, and I was at the same time as her, and I thought I was pretty fast at the time, and that was very humbling and experience. She's an incredible skater. Yeah, she was an amazing hockey player, but I think, yeah, just to see the path that she's taken since being a player and knowing her personally, yeah, you can't help but root for her, and what she just accomplished this season is just like historic. But obviously, she's an amazing coach, so I'm really excited to see what she does there.
Yeah, I think it's phenomenal to see, and just to have that barrier broken and the door opened uh, to someone who's like beyond qualified to be able to do that,
Yeah,
right? I think, but
totally.
sometimes that first door has to be opened before it can others can follow through it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's awesome. So you are what were you what like a year and a half away from the next Olympic Games. So
Yeah.
how when do you start? When does that start creeping into your head that that's coming up?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty like crazy, I guess, as you know, the hockey players with the national team, you think about uh things as quads every 4 years, because that's how you live your seasons
Right?
with the national team. So I guess you're always aware of it and what year of the quad you're in, but this will be my third quad that I'm a part of, and all of them have gone by so fast, and it's crazy. Like after we had lost in 2018, I think one of the hardest like pills to swallow is that you don't even get another chance at redemption for 4 more years. But then it was like before you knew it, it was 2022, and um, you get just as hungry from winning as you do from losing. So like that happened, and I'm like so excited for another opportunity to, hopefully earn a spot on that team. And it's already a year and a half away now. So it's been crazy, especially having the pro league now. I think that the years will just go by even faster because we have a lot of hockey in between. Um, so yeah, it is in the back of your mind a bit. I think I hadn't thought about it too much until this last September camp with the national team. It was discussed and talked about because you only are together so much now with the national team. Between now and then, there's only a handful of events, so you kind of have to make the most of your time together before 2026.
Yeah, it's going to be here before before we know it, I'm sure.
Yeah,
So you're like in the heart of your career, but when you're done playing, what do you want to do?
yeah, that's a
That's a
great
hard question,
question.
maybe. Hey, like,
Yeah, it's a tough one. Yeah, I think it's been a thought, I guess, and different players give you different advice, and I think prior to women's hockey being where it is professionally now, that was like even more of a topic because only so few players got to do it full time. Like I'm super lucky to have been on the national team throughout, since college to having this league. Like so many players that are maybe in the cracks that they had to like work full time um, and train and get to where they are now. Um, so I think it's just like it's naturally been more of a topic for us as women's players because they're you know you're not retiring to your millions just yet by any means. I guess up until this point, whatever. But yeah, I think you know I guess I've been just trying to buy time to have an actual legitimate answer for you. So I've
yeah.
just been enjoying playing, but now with where the league is, I think it's hard not to see yourself still being in hockey in some capacity. And yeah, I think you've seen other girls retire and work in management in the NHL or now the PWHL. I think there's just so many more opportunities for ex players in the sport. So that's where I see a organic path. when that day does come in like 10
I
years.
don't mean to throw that question out when you're like nowhere near that right now. But I'm always
No,
curious,
no.
like what is the goal when the game is behind you in some capacity. But
Yeah.
really, it's to
No,
never
it's
have that game behind you.
of course. Yeah, I mean it's totally it's a fair question and like kind of the reality. It's always good to have a plan too. I think it's a challenge for any athlete to transition from being, like I said earlier, like I haven't known not being a hockey player, so that'll be a harsh reality when it comes, but hopefully it's still involved in hockey in some capacity. Unless I'm like Yager, I'll just play until I'm like 60.
I know, the guy's a freak of nature, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome. What's like? Is there anywhere that you would love to go and travel to? Like, obviously, you got to go to some pretty cool places with the Olympics and maybe with the national team. But is there anywhere that you would love to go visit?
Yeah, great question. I got to go to Italy this year. That was like my big off-season trip, and I've never done anything like that. So that kind of, I think, gave me a bit of a travel bug to want to go back to Europe. Um, I have some Norwegian and Icelandic in me, so I always think it would be cool to go there. So yeah, those would probably be on my bucket list, and probably Greece.
Oh yeah. Every
Yeah,
time I see a picture from Greece, it just looks amazing.
yeah. I mean, most of my travels are like food motivated, so I think that's why Greece is pretty up there too.
Oh, that's awesome. I love it. Thank you so much for taking all this time to chat with me, Emily. I super appreciate it because I know how busy you are between the national camps and then getting ready for the season to start here. So I'm super glad that you could squeeze me in for this.
No, of course, I appreciate it. No, I love your stuff, so I'm honored to be on the pod. Can't wait to see it come out.
Oh, I'm yeah, super thrilled to have gotten you on and love the Saskatchewan connection. And we'll
Yeah,
be
yeah,
rooting for you. And I'm going to find a way to get out to a game in Ottawa this year because I
yeah.
absolutely want to come out there and see you guys play and experience it firsthand.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. And we got to get you that Charge jersey, add to the collection for sure.
Absolutely, I'll be wearing it in every video.
Deal.